here, and welcome to the 5th episode of Redstone for Beginners. In this video, I will be showing you guys how to make this. This is a TNT cannon, and it's not very complicated in terms of redstone. It's just basic wiring with a couple of repeaters, but I reckon it'll be good fun. Just in case you guys didn't know what a TNT cannon did, well, just watch this. TNT goes flying. Before we can get started building that TNT cannon, there's a few things you need to understand about TNT, and just in case you didn't know, these are pretty basic things. I'm sure most of you guys know this. When TNT explodes in mortar, it will not damage any blocks, but it will damage entities such as player, you, or any mobs nearby. Also note that when TNT is set off, it becomes an entity itself, and just like you, the player, water passes through entities. So if I set this off, water will pass straight through the TNT, which means they will not damage the environment. So before we get building, I'll just quickly explain how the cannon actually works. Now, when I press this button, it will instantly send a signal to all the wire along here the side, which will set off all the TNT. So the TNT here is called the charge, and this is what is going to propel the TNT forward. The second hole, which we will place TNT as well in, is called the shot. This piece of TNT will fall down and go flying. The reason we need delays here is because the shot needs to ignite after the charge. When the charge explodes, it will shoot the primed TNT here, the shot, go flying. So you need to keep in mind that the shot needs to ignite after the charge, not before, not at the same time, because then it would just explode in a wreck and nothing will work. So if you watch the redstone carefully, the charge is set off and then the shot. Perfect. And I thought I'd just show you guys quickly what would happen if there was no delay between the charge and the shot. A similar thing would happen if you charge and shot going off in the wrong order. But whoop, load a shot. So here we go. See, the charge and shot went off at the same time. Well, not your whole thing. Mostly the front will get blown up. And that's never good. What I've got over here is a double row cannon. Basically, it just adds another 7 TNT onto here. But the first row of TNT. Well, actually, it's a bit shorter than 7. I didn't extend it to its full length. It's 5. You've got your shot, and this time it's got an extra row of TNT, making it twice as powerful. So I'll just quickly go over the wiring. This line over here powers the bottom row of TNT, and this line on the other side comes around and powers the second row of TNT. This redstone goes up into these repeaters, which is set to a delay of, not sure, I didn't count, it's about 5 or 6 I think, powering this redstone, which powers this shot. So if we watch this, buttons there. As you can see, it went a lot further and higher than the single cannon. And that it wasn't even to its full capacity. I could have made both rows 7 long, because that's how far water can go. So yeah, you can see these can be great fun, and I'll show you guys how to build one right now. Okay, so to build this thing, you'll first need a row of blocks, like this. And with the block at the end, you can place your water source block right there, and it should flow right to the end. That's one block off. and you'd probably want to place a half slab in front of that. That's where your shot will sit when it's ignited. Now, I'd recommend covering up the source block, because if you accidentally place TNT there, you've got no more water flowing through, so that's no good. So this is where the charge is. So next you want to place your redstone alongside there. That's going to set off the charge. Now I'm just going to place a wood block to signal that there's a button there. And if I press it, all the TNT should go off and should explode. Nothing was damaged because the water was there. Next you want to place, go up a couple of blocks, I guess. And just kind of make a little enclosure for your shot. Because remember what I said about TNT? Oops. When you set off TNT, it flies off in a random direction. Now we don't want that in our cannon, because if our shot was to land like on here, on there, because it's moved a couple of pixels to the left or right, it would go off flying in the wrong direction, and that's never good. And if that ever happened with your TNT in a shot, it would just probably wreck your whole cannon. So that's why I've got this thing. This will ensure that TNT will go straight down and land exactly on that half slab where we want it. And make sure this isn't too low, because if you shoot your TNT and it hits there and falls back down, then you'll probably blow up here instead of your target, which is probably out there. So just keep that in mind. Then you've got to wire up here this redstone connected to your button. So I'll probably just do that. Put a couple of repeaters here. This also separates this wire from that wire. We don't want that getting mixed up. And because of this crossover here, we don't want that, so we'll just put a block there. That will separate these two lines. This repeater will power this block, setting the signal up and set off our shot. So you probably want maybe one or two on these repeaters, the delay that is. And let's just check everything's working. Yep, that looks fine. What you'd probably want is about a 1 second delay between this wire and that wire. That's what we got, so I'll see how that goes. Second, yep, that's all good. Fine, and that was pretty good. Let's see how far it went. So keep in mind it was still in the air. I'd say probably about up here when it exploded. So that's a fair distance for this TNT cannon, and that's pretty good. To expand this to a 2-row cannon or even more, it's pretty simple. First off, you're going to have to probably get rid of your shot thing. Now, you probably want to build that last. You want to make sure that all your rows of TNT work properly first. So if I do that, and I grab some redstone, wire up the side, I've pretty much got a second row already done. So let's just test. Both rows of TNT fell into the water, and that was very powerful. Let's add another row. Why not? So to do that, just place blocks on top of the redstone, and you've got floating blocks. And there we go. And now we're going to want to wire up this, and pretty handy because that block's right there. We can just wire it directly like that, and it seems that's working. And let's add another one just for kicks. And we can pretty simply connect this like so, without disturbing any of the wire underneath. As you can see, just make sure everything sets off correctly. Yep, it's looking good. So that's 4 rows. of explosive power. And let's add another one. And that's gonna have to go there. Unfortunately, I can't place a block here because that would block that. And so to prevent myself from accidentally placing something there, I'm just gonna put that there. Because we don't want any accidents, of course. That would be horrible. So that's 5 rows, I think. Minus 1 at the top. And everything's powered, so that's good. Now let's set up where our shot's gonna go up. Now we don't want to put that there because this while we're actually power this block, setting off our shot preemptively. Is that the right word? Before we want it to go off. So that's no good. Well, I guess we could just put a transparent block there because transparent blocks do not carry power. So, yep, that's fine. Just keep that in mind, you don't want that setting off too early. And now we've got to somehow hook up a wire to that block there. I think we can do that like this. Just carry this down. And yeah, that's going to be a problem. Let's go around. Oops. That. Keep that there. But that's fine. Do that. We will have to cover that up. We don't want that crossing over. That's not going to work. Guess we'll have to go all the way around then. And that, yeah, I can cover that. That's fine. Now I need repeaters here. I only can fit in 3, but hopefully if all of them are set to 4 should be enough of delay. And let's test this out. So I think that was about a second. Let's watch this carefully. Yep, that looks fine, and the signal did reach all the way up here. That's good. So let's load this thing up and watch it go. Now, quite a bit of TNT to fill it up, obviously. Something went wrong when I built this. Can I put another one there? Yeah, I can. Okay, so this thing's fully loaded. 5 layers of TNT. And don't forget the dot. I want to see how far this thing goes. Oh no, that's not good. That was an epic fail. Hey guys, turns out that this episode is getting a bit long, so I'm just going to end it here for now. Next episode, I will go ahead and fix up the problems with this cannon, so be sure to check that out. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and yeah, thanks for watching guys.